Today we're going to talk a little bit about guinea pigs. And guinea pigs are one of the animals that I particularly like for young children because they don't climb out of their cages. And they're big enough that little hands can really get a grasp on them without needing to worry about how fast they run. Yes, they can run fast if they have to. But as you see, once you get a guinea pig in your hands, why, it's perfectly comfortable with you. I find guinea pigs fascinating when I'm dealing with little children because the first thing I ask them is how many toes do they have? And most of the children who can speak know that they have 5 toes of their own. And they count the guinea pig toes. And some will say 3 and some will say 4. And they're both right because the little hind legs on a guinea pig have 3 toes and the front hands have 4 toes, which makes them kind of interesting for the kids to think about the fact that they have 5 and 5, but guinea pigs have 3 and 4. This little guinea pig is a cute thing. It's a teddy bear guinea pig, and if you look closely at its whiskers, what you'll see is that it has curly whiskers. And that tells me that it's a teddy bear guinea pig. It also has curly hair, but in a baby like this who's only about 5 weeks old, it's somewhat hard to tell that the hair is curly. It looks mostly just like it's short. If you look at the eyes on this guinea pig, you'll see something else interesting. They're not black and they're not blue. It actually has dark pink eyes. And that means that even though it's not an all-white pig, it's an Eno. It has no black pigment, and so it has these pretty pink eyes. Some people like those, some people don't. Because guinea pigs are born looking just like this, except perhaps half as big, with their eyes open and fully furred, they're a lot of fun to breed. And one of the things you need to know when you're breeding is whether you have a boy and a girl. So I thought today we would look at how you tell the difference. I know this is not your favorite part, but that's beside the point. If you hold your little guinea pig and you press gently above the vent with a little girl like this, you will avert a slit. And we'll see the difference when we get our other little pig out because he's a boy. And as you can see right down the middle of the top of that, there's a little slit. So that means this one is a little girl. And our little boy pig is very excited about the possibility of visiting with her. Guinea pigs as pets require some very interesting accommodations. First of all, they have to have vitamin C every day, just like you and I do. They don't manufacture it. Most animals do, but you and guinea pigs do not. And so the food for a guinea pig must be fresh and it must have vitamin C in it. We also suggest that you supplement with things that are high in vitamin C, like kale, which is one of my favorite treats to feed to animals because they will eat it, and even if there's some left over, it doesn't get all soft and mushy very quickly. It's kind of scary eating online when there's a camera watching you, but when we put this in the cage and settle the guinea pig down, chances are she'll go right ahead and stuff her little face with it. For comparison, let's put this in with our other little pig, and we'll change pigs so that we can see the difference between them. And again, looking at the whiskers, what you'll see is that these whiskers are not curly. These are perfectly straight whiskers. And this little pig is funny because it has a crest on its head. And it is a short-haired guinea pig, but it's also crested. Its eyes are not pink. In fact, it has blue eyes. And even though it's an almost all-white pig, it does have some melanin, which is the black pigment. I promised you'd be able to tell how to sex a guinea pig. And so this one, if you press above it, what you find is, yes, it has a little penis. And so that's our little boy. And even with the very young pigs, it's very easy to sex them. Now he knows that there's a little girl in the room, and she knows that there's kale. So she's going to have a little bit of kale to eat now that she's back on her 4 legs. This little pig, by the way, was bred by one of our other pet stores in town, Potomac Kennels, and they handle dogs and cats, but because she has 3 little girls of her own, she actually got into breeding guinea pigs for us. So in addition to puppies, she deals with guinea pigs. She likes anything with 4 feet and fur. Let's talk a little bit about our caging for our guinea pigs. This is a 10-gallon tank, It's too small. We never send a guinea pig out with a 10-gallon tank, which is 20 inches by 12 inches, because as guinea pigs grow, they're going to get about twice the size of this little one. Not longer, but definitely chunkier. So the smallest cage you would want would be at least 24 inches long, which is a 15-gallon tank. And most people keep their pigs in a cage that has a plastic bottom and a wire top, which works just fine. So either an aquarium or a cage works just fine for a guinea pig, and no, you don't need a top unless you have other animals that may be getting into the cage. We'll put him in to talk to her. I always keep water in a water bottle for guinea pigs because otherwise it's really messy. And I particularly like to have the food in a food hopper. That way I can leave a lot in the food container and they'll have food available all the time. I always suggest a book. A book is really important if you're going to be having a pet. This is not the internet, folks. It's edited and it has much more information than we're going to have in this brief visit about guinea pigs. There's lots of guinea pig treats and lots of hay for guinea pigs because their digestive system is designed for vegetables and they really need good hay. So Timothy hay, very important. For youngsters, they can have some alfalfa, but as they get older, we usually suggest Timothy as being the hay of choice for your guinea pig. These little guinea pigs are going to have a really good time with their kale once they decide that opposite sex is not quite as persuasive as it is right now. And in fact, since my little guinea pig is only about 5 weeks old, the little teddy bear, he's really barking up the wrong tree right now. And we will separate them when we go back to the store, because that's the way they've been. But my, he has worked up an appetite, hasn't he? I guess they both have.